Welcome to day 7 of 75 Hard. So, I got some clarity regarding this series, and the clarity is that I realized that this series on YouTube is more like journal entries, meaning that I'm probably going to change the name of this channel to Kadi's Journal, away from Kadi IRL. And that's just because, like I said, this isn't, I mean, yeah, it's me IRL, but it's also like my journal entries. It's like my thoughts, my mind, what I like, how I feel, you know? It's not just following my day to day life. Actually, it's way less of that. It's way less of following my day to day life and more of hearing my internal monologue, because this is basically my internal monologue. So, day 7 of 75 Hard, we're basically at a full week of 75 Hard, 75 Medium. I haven't finished my day today. I fully intend on doing that. I have my exercise to do, I have my water to drink. I have read my book though. And I think apart from that, it's like I need a progress picture, and I think that's it for the day. So, it's going great. At the start of the day, I was thinking that this is going to be very rough. It's going to be hard to make it out of. But the thing is, like, most habits, I feel like I've talked about this before, but most habits die between like 3 and 10 days, between that period of like 3 and 10 days, which is an arbitrary period that I just made up. But I found that for myself specifically, like, that is about the range of like during that period, most of my habits die. So I'm trying to make it out of that 3 to 10 day period range. And if you do a habit for 21 days, it is very hard for you to fail, basically. And that is a sentiment that I've gotten out of the Psycho Cybernetics book, which is a great book that I'm going to reread. Speaking of books, I'm currently reading Discipline is Destiny, which I've said before. I've definitely said that before. I'm currently reading Discipline is Destiny, and I'm almost done with the book. It is a great read so far, and I would like to do a full book review and breakdown of exactly what is in Discipline is Destiny and how people can apply it to their lives in practical ways. And I made the book review and breakdown that I'm doing is mainly for myself, but I just feel like it would be helpful if I share that with the world. So that's going to be after I finish a book, which I should finish it in a few days, maybe 3, 4 days. And then after that book, I've decided that I'm going to read Psycho Cybernetics. Again, I'm going to try to finish that. I read it about a year ago. I read like the first half of it. I didn't finish it. But this time I'm going to try to finish that book, because that book, even just the first half, was like insane. So it's definitely worth it for me to try to finish that book. And I have like a huge thing of books right here that I can pick from. Another one I was looking at after Psycho Cybernetics is this book right here called Storyworthy. So it's basically like storytelling. Basically teaches you how to tell a story, how to tell any kind of story, because life you're going to need to learn how to tell stories, and stories are the skills that have transferred thousands and thousands of years. If you think back thousands of years ago, the only reason why we know what happened thousands of years ago is because people told stories about it, like about the wars, about the accounts of historical figures like Jesus Christ. So yeah, that is something that I'm thinking about reading, but I honestly don't know yet. I'll see what happens, but I do know that Psycho Cybernetics is next. Another thing that could potentially be on the short list is this book right here, 48 Laws of Power. That is a great book. And then there's also another book. I don't think it's there. It might be up there. Yes, it is. I need a bookshelf if you can't tell. But another thing on the short list is this book right here, Mastery by Robert Greene, because I realized that I have a lot of time. Like, my goal is not to obviously I would like to make money, but I would like to make money not for myself, not to buy like crazy stupid stuff, but to help other people rather, especially people back in my home country. So that is like my main goal. It's like make money for their sake and make money for my family's sake. Make money to help my family. Like I've seen how hard my mom works. I would love to be able to make money to like bless her and help her be able to retire. So obviously like I want to make money, but I would like to more than anything, I think I realized today that my biggest fear is wasted potential. So I'd like to master something, like to exert your potential, you have to master something. And I would love to become a master at something. And I do think that what I'm chasing now is a route of mastery. And I do think that I can become a mastery at my current field that I'm going down towards. Um, yeah, so hopefully that book can, teach me more about what's required in this field of mastery. Okay, I've been rambling. So just to recap, I'm about to jump on the treadmill to do my workouts. Then gonna drink some water in the process. Progress picture, super easy. I'm also going to watch my game because I didn't get to watch it over the weekend. And yeah, I mean, this challenge is becoming something that allows me to do a lot of introspection, especially the challenge coupled with the kind of content that I listen to is like the perfect combination. So if you ever feel like you're in the situation that I was, where you just feel like you have so much potential, but in a sense you feel like you're kind of wasting it away, I would encourage you to hop on 75 Hard and change up the content that you listen to. Don't listen to slop. Don't aimlessly scroll on Instagram or TikTok. I had to be peaceful the other day, like 2 days ago. I was helping my boyfriend move in, and we were like in between tasks, and I was like on the stairs, and there was nothing to do. Like you know, all the stuff that we needed was already in the car, and I was basically just waiting for him. And I don't know what he was doing. It was probably in the bathroom or something. And I brought out my phone, and I was like, what am I actually using my phone for? Like, I'm just using it to try to distract myself. So I might as well just like look around and like, you know, try to just be at peace with where I am in my surroundings. And this isn't something that's going to work like every single time, but in that time it worked. And it was pretty cool to see that I was able to do that. I was able to, I stilled my mind and I focused on, you know, the looking around and seeing how vivid things were, trying to have a vivid memory so I could like specifically remember recounting it now, like the wall and the painting on the wall, and there were figures on the painting. It's very cool. Um, so there's that, and honestly, like when I think about where I was it's so crazy, just a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I've made so much progress. Like not even just two, but like the start of this challenge, I've made so much progress. And, you know, crediting it all to myself would be like such a such a disservice and such selfishness to some of the true people who have helped me make that progress. So, you know, it's just insane because, sometimes you're you have a lot of desires and you're looking into the future, you're thinking ahead, and you don't stop to look back and see how far you've come. You know, like at the start of the year, I my life was in metaphorical shambles. Obviously, outwardly to some people things look amazing, but inwardly I knew that I had what it took to be able to do more, to have more. And so, like, in my mind, it's like I was kind of struggling with that for the last like 6 months or so, maybe even more. I was struggling with that like really bad. Um, but it didn't manifest too crazily, like physically. But it's always been like a mental battle. I'm rambling now, but anyway, at the end of the day, it's my journal, so I can say what the fuck I want here. But it's always been like a mental battle between myself. Like, I think my biggest problem has always been self control, lack of self control. And I've been able to, through the 75 hard challenge, the first 7 days, this is just reflecting on the first week. Um, I've been able to kind of show myself that there is a higher version of myself that is capable of all the goals that I want and accomplishing and doing everything that I said I wanted to do and that I would do. And that higher version of myself is me. Like, we are the same people, but just in different timelines. And so, the version of myself, right? You can't wish for something different. Like, just keeping in mind for myself that I can't wish for something different. I can't wish for a different outcome without wishing or putting in different inputs. So, a great example is like, and this is for anyone who's listening, right? This is not just me. And I know like a lot of people already know this, but a lot of people don't know this. And a lot of people know this, but they don't like internalize it. They don't understand what it means. So, a great example is for the longest time, I wanted to lose weight. And by the way, God is good. I'm seeing some results on the scale now from the 75 hard challenge. I'll probably talk more about that tomorrow or in the coming days. But I've wanted to lose weight for the longest time. And I haven't been putting in the work to lose weight. It's almost as if it's just been a wish. It's been like a genie in a bottle wish where it's like, okay, what's your wish? And my wish is, okay, I want to lose weight, right? But I haven't put in the actual work to lose weight. And if you ponder on it for a little bit longer, you realize that the reason why at the time I wasn't losing any weight is because I wasn't doing anything different. I was doing the same thing, but the only thing different was that I wanted to lose weight. So at the very least, like, I felt shitty about myself, right? But the version of me that had lost all that weight was entirely different. Like, if you really think about it, this is where you have to really be very introspective and be 100% honest with yourself. The version of you that has that goal that you want, the job that you want, the car that you want, the body that you want, that version of you does things differently. Point blank, period. They do things differently. So you need to put yourself in the mind of that person and find out what it is that they do. So the version of me that is, let's say, 40, 50 pounds lighter, right? She obviously is not going to eat as much as I do currently, or as much as I did, right? And it takes time to, have those actions reflect into results. Everything is a system, but that's a different topic for a different video. So she's not going to eat as much as I did. She's probably going to move her body way more than I did. And that's basically like it. That's basically what it comes down to. And she probably does those two things on a daily basis, not like once every 2 days or once every 3 days or maybe 3 out of 7 days of the week. No, she does that like on a daily basis. That's her normal life. And it's not hard for her to do these things, to work out, to eat healthy, to, eat clean. It's not hard. And so once you figure out the things that this version of yourself that has the goal, what they're like, then you just start embodying that today. And I feel like I've always known this, but I just kind of internalized it this year. Because I think it's like, you kind of feel like a dumbass or at least I did. I kind of felt like a dumbass when, you know, I know exactly what I need to do, but then I don't do it. And then I tell myself, I accept the current situation I'm in. It gets to a point where it's like, I don't accept the current situation that I'm in. And I know that if I don't change, then I will still be in this situation. So I have to either do it or not. And, reading Discipline is Destiny, it's making me also realize that, like, the point of it all is to do hard work, to exert your best self, to exert your full potential. Because that's like, in the end, I think one of my favorite quotes from the book so far is that no one ever ate or drank their way to happiness. And I feel like that's just something where it's like, whenever I feel like I can't control myself, like that stands for everything. That stands for like, you know, just consumption, right? You don't consume your way to happiness. You exert your way to happiness. Like what brings people happiness in the general sense, which by the way, I am happy, is not it's not consuming like external things, but it's rather, exerting, giving love, giving joy, helping people out. And another thing too is I just listened to Founders Podcast was one of my favorite podcasts, hosted by David Senra, and he did a biography, or he did an episode on the biography of Jesus Christ, and that dropped on Christmas Day. And he basically talked about, Jesus's life and how it was so contrasted from everybody else in his time. And nowadays we see and hear about Jesus Christ and his principles, his teachings, kindness, and it's almost normalized. It's almost normal now. But back in the day, it was so like radical. And one of his biggest things is like love, like just love, and just show like endless kindness to people. And I'm a Christian. I read the Bible. I go to church. But just having that reminder that like that is how Jesus lived his life. It just showed like the blueprint to life is already out there. It's in the Bible. It's in the, I don't know, whatever religious, whatever religion you belong to, your holy book it's in that. For me, that's, I'm Christian. It's the Bible. It's in the Bible, especially the New Testament. By the way, the New Testament completely contrasts everything from the Old Testament. So the New Testament is really what us Christians go by, because that is the teachings of Jesus Christ is in the New Testament. But that is different conversation for different days. Again, this is this is getting to be a long video. It's a rambly video. It's kind of like a weekly review as well, I guess, because I'm just reflecting, honestly. Like I'm just reflecting on how far I've come, and I'm really proud of the work that I've put in so far. And the fact that I have seen the results already, even though I haven't, not expecting it, but I've seen it, and it really just goes to show, like, if you put the work in, you will see the results. And that's in every area of life. Sometimes it's delayed, other times not. And yeah, I mean, very happy with where I am. I've lost about 5 pounds so far, which is a lot. But in fairness, when I first made that my first weigh-in, I was bloated, and I think I'd eaten some food at that point too. So, but yeah, we still move. I'm also doing this 75 hard / medium challenge with my boyfriend. So he's seeing amazing results as well. I think he's about 5 pounds down too, which is amazing. So yeah, like, I'm the kind of person that if life isn't going the way that I want it to, I build the life that I want. And I build it while showing kindness to people around me and while not stepping on their heads, but, you know, holding their hands while I climb and bringing them with me. And that's the person that I am, and that's the person that I'll stay. And yeah, that's it for this ramble. It's not going to be this ramble. I don't know if it's going to be this rambly, but I'll see you in the next day 8 tomorrow. I have a lot to do tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow's going to be a meal prep day. I was actually supposed to be today, but I didn't even plan today yesterday. So today was a little bit crazy because I did come home late and I haven't done any workout. And I just spent a fifth of the hour talking to this camera. So yeah, today was mostly a rest day. I did do some like preparations like potatoes. And I had dinner, which was cottage cheese pudding. And that was pretty good. Got some of my protein in. And yeah, tomorrow I'm just gonna I wanna make some quesadillas, and some breakfast burritos if I have enough tortillas. And then also I would like to um I would like to start just being serious about my goals. I've done the actions and the tasks that will take me to those goals, but I need to be a little bit more serious and do them with a little bit more seriousness, more volume. So that's starting tomorrow. But I think another thing, this is the last thing I'll say. Okay, this video is not going to be more than 25 minutes long. But another thing is that I was like thinking on this week today, and I was a little bit dissatisfied with like the actions that I did for my business. And so it was easy for like a part of me really wanted to beat myself up about it. Like it was easy for me to do that, to just be like, oh, like I'm not doing enough. Like I need to do more. I need to do more. And that could be true. That could be 100% true. But at the end of the day, it's like that's not encouraging. It's not telling me to keep going, which by the way, I should and I will keep going. But the encouraging thing, or another part of me looked at the week I've had, and despite all my shortcomings, I was able to see that, you know, I completely changed my life. I completely changed my life. I'll say that one more time. I completely changed my entire life in this past 7 days. Like completely, in every sense of the word. I've made a lot of internal life decisions that I will carry with me, and I have completely changed how I see myself and how I see myself going through this life. I've completely changed that, and I've completely changed my actions and my habits, like things that now feel internalized, like my internalized habits. Like when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is that is my thing. I go for a walk. First thing I do, go for a walk. Before I end the day, I need to make sure that I've gotten either my walk in or any other exercise in. That's all I do. I need to make sure I read. I have my Kindle by my bedside so I can also read at night before I go to bed. Do I slip up? Yeah, like obviously I've read every single day. I've read 10 pages every single day, but I want to read morning and night. And some days I read more than 10 pages. I think it was Friday, I actually had my iPad by my bedside and I watched YouTube before I went to bed. That wasn't, part of the plan. This video is going to be more than 25 minutes. I'm still rambling, but that wasn't part of the plan. Like, yeah, I slip up, but notwithstanding, I completely changed my life in the last week. And I think even though I didn't change it, you don't get it perfect the first time around. Most people don't. So even though I didn't do that, I still changed it a lot for the better. So I think instead of me kind of putting myself down saying like, okay, I didn't do enough, I'm not doing enough, maybe instead I should give myself a little bit of praise and encouragement so that I can kind of lift myself up to these new standards and say, you know what, like, I didn't do enough last week, but this week I'm going to give it my all to do what I rather would have done before. And yeah, that's all I'll say. Yeah, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. And I'll see you tomorrow. This has been a long video, but I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my journal. Hope it helps somebody. It's just, I don't know, it's just a reflection for myself to get it out there. And if this helps one person, I feel like it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to me. And yeah, I'm excited for the future of myself after 75 hard. I feel like this video specifically is going to hit very differently once I complete this challenge and once I, you know, take myself closer to my goals in life this year. It's going to hit super differently at the end of the year. That's all I'll say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.